Hey, this is Nicole Laird here, and I'm going to be giving a response based on the clip of Boris taking a speaking test, and it looks like with Cambridge or something. So, here we go. Okay, starting out with weaknesses. Boris has a number of issues here, and I'm not going to go into all of them. I really want to point out that as an 11-year-old student, his fluency is quite high, and it even feels a little bit sad criticizing him because I think his level of English is quite high, especially for his age. And I'm not sure exactly where he lives. I'm assuming he's Russian, and I think learning English from that language is very difficult. So I want to say that overall his fluency is amazing. He does make some issues when pronouncing the word tired. He says tired and puts a little bit too much stress on the ed, which is usually a softer sound. The word walking, I noticed the W sounds more like a V, and the L was a little bit more pronounced than it should be. This V and W sound is often mixed up in Swedish too, so it's interesting to see that. As far as strengths, even though he does make some errors, and everything that he says is comprehensible, and it's easy to understand what he wants to say and what he says. The errors he does make, it might be more understandable why he makes those if I had some more knowledge of the Russian language. And I could be wrong. He may not be Russian at all. He may be Swedish, but the errors that he makes are not particularly frequent for Swedish English learners. But probably would have been interesting to see a Swedish student as opposed to Boris. But interesting nonetheless. As far as grammar goes, he starts off using proper tense, prepositions, and sentence construction, but starts to make some errors about 1 minute and 30 seconds when talking about the kangaroo. His sentences become a little bit more short and broken, not really using present tense, using more just the infinitive, and he needs to work a little bit more on his articles. Just using articles in general. I have some examples here. Kangaroo is walking. He doesn't say the kangaroo or a kangaroo. He says there is not a girl. This is word order is not entirely correct here, but it's not the same problem that Swedish students usually have. So that was interesting. He says there is a play football, and this is also not correct. You could say there is a football, or they are playing football. He talks about his hobbies. His hobbies is, and hobbies is a plural noun, so it should say are. This tester says, "What do you do at the weekend?" And for me, this was a little bit strange way to construct the question. I would usually say, "What are you going to do on the weekend?" And he, in fact, answers, "On the weekend, I do this." So I'm not sure if this is a British English way of asking this question. As far as strengths, his word order seems okay throughout the clip. I'm not familiar with Russian grammar, but perhaps the word order system in Russian, if that is his mother tongue, maybe it's similar, and so that's not a problem for him. But word order is, in fact, I noticed. Okay, lastly here, how he interacts with the tester. And beginning of the clip I felt was a little bit more rehearsed. Not in the sense that he knew what she was going to ask, but mostly with the introductions. And perhaps he had practiced this beforehand with a teacher or a tutor or something just to feel a little bit more comfortable. But I didn't feel like he was really speaking freely. And then when he started to get into the questions, he spoke a little bit more freely, but something he always acknowledged what she said, and it was pretty evident that he understood what she was saying, and he replied with a yes or an uh-huh. And it was interesting to see the tester too, and I know we're not really analyzing the tester, but I liked the way that she was positive the whole time, even when he made errors. I think our body language says a lot to our students, and they know when they make mistakes, maybe based just on facial expressions, but clearly she's an experienced tester, and none of this came through, and she was positive the whole time, and I like that. That didn't trip him up in any way, or make him doubt himself, and he actually seemed to enjoy this activity, and that was great. So I appreciate this clip, and it was nice to see this type of activity being done. So that's it for me.